In this tutorial, we're going to be learning about why we need to stop using sit-ups, crunches and back extensions to train our core, and why we need to start using equipment like kettlebells. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you want to build your core strength and stability, please do click the link below, go through to my How to Build Core Strength and Stability 12-week online program, where we'll eventually use exercises like this to build core strength and stability. So why do we need to stop using exercises like sit-ups and crunches? Very simply, sort of number one, it's not great for the spine, or it's not necessarily advantageous for the spine, because when we come into large flexion movements and then lift up here and then we fatigue those areas, it's not an exact metaphor, but when we snap a credit card in half, we're constantly flexing back and forth, the fibers are fatiguing, and then eventually the credit card breaks. Your spine isn't going to break, but your tissues can become fatigued. So what we need to be able to do is minimize the amount of full flexion and load on the spine, because that is a mechanism for damaging the spine. The second thing is more to do with performance, is it can create a very rigid torso, and not only a rigid torso, but a rigid movement. And what we need to be able to do is try and have a little bit more dynamic strength from the torso, because that's how it's designed to move. And when we come on later and talk more about the kettlebells, we'll understand a little bit more about why that's important and why it's very different from doing exercises like this, because these are very sort of slow, controlled movements, and there's a time and a place for slow and controlled movement. But what we're doing is we're activating, we're curling up, and then we're coming up into this position. So as I mentioned, it's a very slow and controlled movement. And when I used to teach a lot more with kettlebells, one thing that you would find is people that were very adept at regular exercises, like dumbbell presses, like pulling exercises, which again are performed in a very slow and controlled way, and they were able to feel the muscle working, and the movement was slow. That's how their movement develops, and then they lose what we're going to talk about later. So they lose the ability to move fast, to use momentum, and to be able to be very efficient with their movement, which is what we want from the torso. So the first part to this is why we really need to move away from sit-ups, crunches, back extensions, because they're not great for the health of the spine, but they're also not great for the performance of the torso and the body as a whole. Part two, I'm also going to say we need to start moving away from planks, side planks, bridges, and even bird dogs. Now, I talk about those four exercises a lot, and there is a place for them. So the place for them is, let's just use the plank as the example. So we would come down and we would just build an initial isometric strength to be able to hold that position. We would then build a little bit of endurance in there, because we're able to hold it for a period of time, and then we would build a degree of sort of strength, endurance and stability by not moving the hips, but we're lifting the arm from the floor. So by stability, I mean when I lift my arm from the floor, my hips don't wobble all over the place. What I'm also able to do from this exercise, from planks, side planks, bridges and bird dogs, is I'm able to feel the muscles working. So I'm able to feel the abdominals working in the plank, the obliques working in the side plank, the glutes working in the bridge, the glutes and the muscles of the back working in the bird dog. So we can do that. But once we've built that proprioception, once we've built the strength, the endurance, the stability, we then don't really need to keep doing them. What we then need to do is try and move on to something slightly different, which is where people normally then go, squats are great for core training, deadlifts are great for core training, because we're loading the torso, but we're moving as well. Now, even that has a little bit of a problem, because again, with squats and deadlifts and presses and pulls, it's still slow, it's still controlled, and it's that type of movement. What we want, which is where kettlebells come in, is a fast and controlled movement. So we need to start building our body, or certainly our torso, into like an elastic band, if you will, where we're able to use elastic energy, which comes with momentum, and our muscles become much more efficient and find it easier to move much heavier weight. So what we're going to do in part number 3 is we're going to talk about how that works within using kettlebells. And we're going to use 2 exercises as an example to show how we can build our core strength and stability using momentum, using elastic strength. We're going to learn how we can move heavier weight easier. So where you were lifting a certain weight before, you'll be able to lift more weight because you're using momentum, but you're doing it in a fast and controlled way. Now, why is this advantageous? Because this is basically what sport is. Sport isn't a deadlift unless you're doing powerlifting. If you're a sports player of, you know, football, rugby, cricket, American football, basketball, whatever it may be, you aren't using the results of your squat or your deadlift. You'll be much better using the results of a kettlebell swing or the 2 exercises that I'm going to talk about here, because they're a little bit more core based. So I've got 2 kettlebells here, a 16 and a 12. So I'm going to use the 16 first. Now, a very simple and easy way to learn momentum and to learn about using the elastic nature of our muscles, because our muscles have different components, which is strength. It has a strength component, it has an endurance component, it has a neuromuscular component, so like a stability component, but it also has, which doesn't get talked about at all really, an elastic component. This is what kettlebells train really well, is the elastic component. So very simply, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pass this around my body. So I'm keeping my body nice and still, and what's happening as I pass it around, the muscle tension is following the kettlebell, and I go the other way. And you'll obviously also feel it through the arms. So if you're involved in any sort of throwing, you aren't going to benefit from a bench press or a pull-up. You're going to benefit from moving a kettlebell, because what you're doing, and it will become more apparent with the next exercise, because as you'll see here, when I grab onto this weight, there's a little straightening of the arm, but I don't want to straighten my arm. I'm not passing it like that. I'm keeping tension in the arm, and that's using that elastic energy at the elbow. It's also using the elastic energy at the shoulder to move it around. So we come into that position. We've also got, as I mentioned, the load going through the torso. So again, if I'm throwing, the load doesn't just stay here. Because I'm rotating, the load changes with when my body changes. So the next one, we're going to make it a little bit more dynamic. We're going to make it a little bit more fast. So we're going to use this 16 again. What we're now going to do, we're going to come up to the shoulder. We're going to go round the back like we did before, but we're going to come back up to the other shoulder. So we come up to here, we go down, and we come up. So we're now starting to use, if you notice, I'm starting to use my whole body to move it. So I've got to hold my torso solid, I've got to use my arms to guide the weight, and I've got to use my legs to support and move the weight from low down, cushion it down, and spring it up. Cushion it down, spring it up. So again, I'm using a heavy weight. So if I tried to stand here and do a bicep curl up to here, it's not going to happen. So I can't lift a 12 kilo kettlebell like that, like I would if I was doing a bicep curl. But I can use momentum, and again, this is going to be much more effective for anyone playing any kind of sport, because you're developing that spring. You're developing the elastic component to the muscle. So we've got those two exercises. They are two very simple exercises. Again, we can go and take it into a lot of different avenues, but we can come sort of here. We can go much more dynamic and up. And again, as I go across, I'm opening out my torso ever so slightly and then closing it off, opening it out, closing it off, using the legs, using the arms. So you've got shoulder, torso and leg all the way across diagonally, and then the other way when I go the other way to come up into this position and move the weight. Because again, I couldn't move this 12 kilo. Wow, that's a bit easier. Not like that 16. But it allows me to be able to move it, and then you can go a little bit more dynamic as a fourth exercise, which I was only going to use two, but we can stand straight on and again throw it over the shoulder. And what you'll start to notice with that one is I start to use my hip a lot more. So I'm starting to explode from the hip, and again it's developing that elastic. So if you want that explosive type of strength, this is where snatches, cleans and jerks can come in, but this is where kettlebells are probably the best equipment for that, to build that elastic nature. And this is what people need to start doing. There is a time and a place for planks, side planks, bridges and bird dogs, which I talk about all the time if we're beginning out, and we need those components of strength, endurance and proprioception and stability, sorry. But that only will take us so far. What we then need to be able to do is move on to things like this, which is going to make it a little bit more explosive, a little bit more elastic. It's going to make us very efficient in how we move very heavy weight for not so much energy. So that brings us to the end. If you've enjoyed the content, hit the like button. If you learned something new, hit the thanks button. If you want to watch more of this, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. And if you've got a comment or a question, leave it below.